One of the experiences he values the most out of the trip was climbing from mountain to mountain. Please help me welcome Shad with his speech, The Fuji Story. The Fuji Story, Shad.
How do you tell the value of a material possession? Is it the monetary value? Is it how old it is? Or is it what it represents? Around a month ago, before I left to Japan and China, I was here. And I was talking to all of you about the future, about travel and moving off to college. And in fact, I talked to Ed, actually. And when talking to Ed, and I told him, "Hey Ed, I'm going to Tokyo again this summer to see my dad." He said, "Hey Shad, you should hike Mount Fuji." And I said, "Whoa, that's awesome." And he said, "Yeah, what a lot of people do is they climb up the mountain, they stay there the night, and then in the early morning, they hike up to the summit and see the sunrise." And I said, "Wow, that's actually a super interesting idea." And he said, "Yeah, another thing you can do is you can get this staff at the base camp. This staff, you see, along each station on the way to the summit, you get a stamp for only a few dollars. And by the end of your journey, you get this trail map of where you've been on the way." I thought this was the coolest idea ever. I knew I had to do it. The only issue was, I was traveling to Japan and I was going to be going with my father. Now, I appreciate and I'm super thankful for everything my father's done for me. He's allowed me to travel to so many different countries, experience so many different cultures, and I definitely could not have done anything with what he's provided for me. That being said, when it comes to putting things into fruition that he's promised, he often makes me disappointed. One instance where this happened was actually last summer when we went to Dubai. We went to Dubai, and part of what I wanted to do in Dubai was to go on this desert safari. This desert safari is the coolest thing ever. You get to see the sand dunes stretching for miles. It's an amazing experience. But when I came to ask him, "Hey Dad, you want to go?" he said, "Shad, I'm too tired. I think I'm going to stay in this hotel room. You can go though. I'm going to take a nap." So I was disappointed. I said, "Okay, Dad, I'll go." Then later, a couple of months before my high school graduation, I said, "Hey Dad, you going to come out from Tokyo? You're going to see my high school graduation?" He said, "Of course, Shad. I wouldn't miss it for the world." A few days after that message, he said, "Shad, I got to take care of some business here, and I don't really want to go through the trouble of security at the airport." I said, "Okay, then, fine." Last year, when we were talking about paying for college, as a child, he always told me, "Shad, I'm not going to let you be burdened by any student debt. I'm going to take care of everything." And I said, "Thank you so much, Dad." My mother received a message last year saying that she was expected to pay for college out of his child support, which is what we were living off of. All these incidents backed up to create this constant reminder and this weight of disappointment. I always felt like the next moment, whatever we had planned was going to sink and end up failing because of what had happened in the past. However, when I went to Japan this time, my dad was all for it. We ended up booking the tour online, a self-guided tour, not with an actual tour group. We ended up going to the base of Mount Fuji, and before I knew it, in a few days, we were on our way. I got the stick, as per Ed's recommendation, and we started trudging along this horizontal road at the base of the mountain. At the base is fairly flat, so there's no steep inclines. We're trudging along, my stick sinking into the soil, fog surrounding us. It was very foggy at the bottom. We reached the 6th station. There are 8 stations before the summit. We reached the 6th station. We meet some tourists from the West. We have a little chatter. My dad talks to them. He can't stop bragging about Japan. I don't blame him. I'll let him have his fun. The hill's a little steeper here. The incline is a bit heavier, and I find myself digging harder into the soil. We reach the 7th station. Grab a bite to eat. I look over my shoulder. It had been raining, actually, and the storm clouds were pacing over the mountain. I saw a rainbow. I said, "Hey Dad, check that out." He smiled. We hike up further. Now I feel that my stick is not treading into soil, but rather rock, and I have to use both my hands to climb up this mountain. We reach the 8th station, eat some mediocre food, and sleep into this, or get into beds, which aren't really rooms at all. You're in the same beds with basically other genders and all crammed in this one space. We wake up at 2 a.m., my dad wakes me up. He says, Shad, everyone's gone. I said, okay, let's get going. He says, Shad, I'm feeling tired. I don't think I can make it to the sun with you. I think I'll just watch the sunrise from here. You can go on ahead though. Same thing, the weight burdening on my chest. I can feel the same reminder as a child, as a teenager, that disappointment. But I remember, I wasn't a child now. I was an adult. I told him, I looked at him and I said, Dad, you're not going to be up here ever in your life. We are 2 hours away from the summit, and we have 2 hours until sunrise. We're going. Nice. He looked at me, he sighed, and he started packing his things. I got out of bed, packed everything. We smelled terrible. We didn't shower for the whole hike. But we started heading out. Headlamps on, 2 a.m., with hundreds of other tourists. By 4:30, we made it to the summit. In a few minutes, we were watching the sunrise through the clouds and through the fog. Like that burden that just suddenly lifted off me once we were able to go up. The fog cleared, and the sun rose above the land of the rising sun. It was the coolest moment of that trip, and one of the most memorable moments of my life. And coming back, after I got my final stamp at the top of that summit, I realized this stick didn't just represent me having a cool souvenir on Mount Fuji, or getting my trip packed up in this cool souvenir. It was a reminder that my mindset had changed from the once frequently disappointed kid I was. It changed into an adult who was actually capable of changing his environment.